Hello, I'm Paul J. Goddard. I'm 40 years of age from Manchester, and as of lately, I've been having something on my mind, affecting my mental health, and really kind of making me lose sleep. And it's a question that I'll never get answered probably, but I want to make this video in the hopes of creating some form of a peace with myself and sharing this experience with you all. And it was about 20 years ago, March time, and I was seeing a girl in Wythenshawe, Benchill, where there's a few guys outside, and I went out and was playing football and having a laugh and a joke and stuff. And then one particular one, invited me to a party later on that evening. And I thought, you know what, it'd be a good chance to socialise, get involved with the local community and make some friends. So I went along, I arrived there, and the one who invited me was passing me a drink and was having a laugh and stuff and a joke and things like that. There was guys there, there was girls there, it was quite busy. And there were some older guys in the kitchen, and the guy who invited me got invited into the kitchen. And I was like looking around thinking, nothing of it really. I just thought he was having a chat. The door closed for some reason. And then the guy come back out and said to me, "We just come to my sister's while I get something." So I was like, right, yeah, sure, why not? And we come outside the house. We got some bikes and we cycled up to my sister's, which wasn't far, it was like 2 streets away. And then we went inside, we left the bikes outside of my sister's house, and then I had to pick a flight path to this story, didn't I? Silly me. But yeah, he's gone inside, and I could see straight through the house. And I seen go into the kitchen. He opened a drawer, and I'm not too sure whether this is a correct memory or not, but I had like a bit of a hazy vision of something shiny coming out the drawer, and still I thought nothing of it. And he's come outside the house, shut the door, and he's like, "Leave the bikes here." And oh, got a squirrel listening. And he said, "Leave the bikes here." And we walked down the street, and then he was on my left side, just walking down, and all of a sudden he goes thump right into my side, and he stabbed me. And the damage was he clipped my lung and punctured my liver. At the time, luckily was a bit drunk and relaxed, but if it wouldn't have been, it would have been definitely a different case. I dropped to the floor, and I felt a pain, a really sharp pain. I felt some cold air rushing into my body, because obviously my nerves were exposed and things like that. And he was nowhere to be seen. I think he ran off. And I got up and I felt really, really weak. I was bleeding a lot, so I was holding on to my wound like this. And then I started to walk. I didn't have a mobile phone or nothing at the time. And it was on the main road, and I could see a phone box. I'm trying to get to this phone box, but it felt like forever away. And I could feel myself getting weaker and weaker with each step. So when I turned, I looked at this house, I jumped over the gate, I banged on the door, and luckily they let me in. An ambulance was called. The ambulance arrived, and then they took me to Wythenshawe Hospital, where I remember being on the way in the ambulance. I remember having a dark sort of vision with little white specks in it, a bit like, you know, when you get up and you sort of your head rushes, and then little white stars in your vision. It was like that, and I felt really, really weak, and I was slipping out of consciousness the entire time I was in the ambulance. And then when I got to the hospital, it was still the same thing going on. And then they rushed me to this room, and I had loads of doctors and nurses all running about, and then because the blood was like pumping out me quite a lot, they put a slit under my armpit, and they fed into me what you call a chest drain. I felt this tube crunch along my breastplate, going down into my tummy, and the tube started gushing out blood. And they're like, right, this is. I can remember them like vaguely saying like is in trouble here or something, like they need to get him to the OR or ER or whatever. And so I had a fly there. And then remember going down the corridor, like doing the movies when you see the lights flickering like that, and they gave me some gas and I crashed out, and I woke up with 27 staples strapped into my stomach. I'd lost 4.5 pints of blood. I was on the absolute brink of death. And the damage was, if you look here, see that scar there? That was the scar where the wound went in. And that there, all the way down to my belly button, is the operation where I had to go inside my body and repair my organs. And still to this day, I don't know why it happened, but yeah, we've all done some bad things in life, we've all made mistakes, but I don't believe for a second that I deserve to nearly die. I think if you out there that did this, see this video, I hope that you're a better person and you didn't do that again to anybody else, because no one deserves to nearly die for nothing. When it comes to obviously being charged and going to prison, I had like a little penknife, like a tiny little penknife, so like a little pouch, like probably like 1.5 inch long blade, and between him and his liar of a solicitor and himself used that against me, saying that I attacked him first with this tiny little blade, but he had a blade like this big, which managed to shove. Oh, excuse me. He managed to shove right into my chest and impale me. And this is something that I've been wanting to do, to share this experience, because it has affected my mental health for 20 years. Not knowing why it happened, what the cause was, what the reason was, why I deserved that injury, to feel like I'm worth nothing. And the truth is, since that point, I've done some amazing things with my life. I've achieved some absolute greatness within my time, and I'm really proud of myself, you know. I just thought it's really important to put this out there, because I feel like this could give me a release by you guys watching, and hopefully having some form of understanding of what I went through. But it was the single most tragic event of my life. I've been through quite a lot, but that was something else. But yeah, sorry to bamble and waffle a little bit there, but it did need to be told properly, in detail. And you know what, I feel better doing this, I really do. And I just hope that you guys can understand that and see my purpose for doing this. Thanks for watching. Paul J. Goddard.